She swung the door open like she ruled the place. "What do you want, parasite?" "I'll call the police," she spat, one manicured hand clinging to the frame. I smiled, steady calm. "Go ahead," I said softly. "If you can." Then I stepped inside, my suitcase rolling across the wooden floor of the home I had built, the same home she now claimed as hers. Her husband was frozen in the living room, mid-sip, coffee trembling in his hand. Her in-laws sat by the fireplace, their faces a mix of confusion and discomfort. I didn't stop until I reached the center of the room, the place where the sunlight poured into the wide window, where the mountains framed me like a portrait. I turned slowly. "Make yourselves comfortable," I said quietly. "It'll be your last evening here." It hadn't always been this way. Once, my sister Sanaa was everything to me. 2 years younger, fragile, dependent. I paid for her tuition, her rent, her wedding. When she married Faird, she hugged me and said, "You're my greatest blessing, ISA." And I believed her. After our parents passed, I bought this mountain lodge, a refuge for peace, for air untouched by betrayal. I used to send her pictures of the snow, the pine trees, the warm glow of fireplace. She'd always reply, "I'll visit someday." I didn't realize she already had. The betrayal came quietly, an unpaid tax notice addressed to Mrs. Sanaa Faird, sent to my mountain address. My address. At first, I thought it was a clerical mistake. Then I checked the property records. The title deed had been transferred months earlier, bearing my signature, except it wasn't mine. I still remember sitting at my desk, the papers spread out before me, my pulse hammering as the truth seeped in like frost under a door. She had forged it, used old scans from documents I'd once helped her with, stolen my identity, and claimed the lodge as her own. My sanctuary, gone. There was no confrontation, no tears, just silence. If she wanted to steal my peace, I decided I'd take hers instead. The first step was quiet observation. I hired a lawyer, then another, someone who specialized in discretion. Together, we traced everything. The forged transfer, the false witnesses, the bribes. We built the case piece by piece, unseen, unshakable. While she flaunted photos of her new getaway online, I prepared my move. I let her settle in, redecorate, repaint, rename the place Essays Haven. And then I waited. 3 months later, I returned, armed with everything. Court orders, reversal documents, and the police authorization she had once dared me to summon. "Call them," I repeated now. She didn't move. Her in-laws exchanged uneasy glances. Faird lowered his cup. "This house was transferred illegally," I said evenly. "Forgery, identity theft, fraud. Shall I explain it further, or will the officers do it for you?" Sanaa's face went pale. "You're lying," she whispered. I reached into my coat and pulled out the envelope. The court seal shimmered under the light. I tossed it onto the coffee table. The thud echoed through the silence. "Read it," I said. Faird picked it up, flipping to the pages. His jaw tightened as his eyes scanned the text. Then he looked at her, truly looked. "Sanaa, what is this?" Her words stumbled out like shards of glass. I did it for us." "For us?" he snapped. "You stole your sister's house?" Her in-laws rose abruptly, faces burning with humiliation, muttering under their breath as they left the room. I let the scene unfold. Her panic, his disgust, the perfect world she built crumbling around her. "You won't get away with this," she hissed. I leaned in slightly, voice steady. "You already didn't." The police arrived within the hour, not for me, but to serve the repossession notice. Everything was reverted back under my name. She had 1 week to vacate. She broke down on the couch, sobbing, calling my name as if it still held meaning. I didn't answer. I just stood by the window, watching the snow drift softly over pines. My pines again. When they finally left, silence filled the house. I walked through each room, running my fingers along the walls she'd repainted, the furniture she'd moved. Her perfume lingered in the air, sweet, shallow, fleeting. I opened the windows and let the cold mountain air sweep through. People say revenge doesn't bring peace. They're wrong. It does when it's clean, when it's deserved. She took what wasn't hers. I simply took it back, with interest. Now, when I sit by the fire at night, I think of that moment at the door, her calling me a parasite. And I smile, because parasites survive by feeding off others. But me, I rebuild. I outlast, and I always return.